Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Jackie Moline. Before I introduce Linda, who actually needs no introduction, so I don't even need to introduce her, I just wanted to say a couple of words. Dr. Selikoff's legacy was, as Phil said, not just his superlative research and his advocacy, but he had a way of attracting some of the best and brightest folks to work with him who had a dedication and devoted their lives to asbestos-related disease study and care. And the number of people that were his students, in fact, Dr. Frank was the first PhD student at Mount Sinai, worked in the department. But I stand here working in occupational medicine and specializing in asbestos-related diseases because of many people who were in this building before me. Phil was an amazing mentor. Steve Markowitz is here, and you'll hear from him later. And someone will introduce him then. I'm not going to do that. But people here, as well as those who are no longer with us, like Ruth Lillis, Bill Nicholson, Steve Levin, were all amazing clinicians first and researchers who devoted their life and continued on the legacy of Dr. Selikoff and what he did. So it's an honor for me to be here. It's strange to be back in this room after having left 15 years ago, but I'm happy to be back here for this organization that is continuing the legacy. I'm realizing as I'm sitting here, there are a few more parallels between Dr. Selikoff's work and my career. One thing that I did learn from the 9 months that we overlapped when I first came to Mount Sinai is that you have to never back down. And when you know the truth is on your side, you persevere. And I will persevere, and we will all persevere. So I don't need to read the bio for Linda Reinstein. Linda turned personal tragedy into making the lives of thousands of people better. And I think that's the best introduction that I can give to an indomitable force. Her advocacy, her leadership, the fact that she got a lot of people on a Saturday morning to spend time in a windowless room speaks volumes. And to all of you out there watching, to take a cause that is so personal and to turn it into a global organization with reach and with the goal simply of preventing other people from having to go through what she did is just remarkable. And I'm happy to serve on the Scientific Advisory Board because what we're doing is serving the truth and trying to make the world a better place. So I turn it over to Linda.
As we talk through why we're here, about journalists that don't stay silent, those scientists who fight like Dr. Selikoff, and of course those impacted like Clarence Burrell's, whose verdict actually changed the industry, I want you to think very simply about head, heart, infrastructure, and future, just in buckets so you can understand. So obviously my beautiful daughter Emily is in this picture below. We thought Alan would be the $1 million man. We were wrong. Alan, like everyone else, succumbs to mesothelioma. He did fight a hard 3-year battle, and he died in front of Emily and myself. And yes, that is life-altering, and it lasts forever. But let's take a look at what we represent. 20 years of evidence-based advocacy has earned us the reputation of really being a source, a really preeminent source for the media, etc. We use digital storytelling. How can you understand this? The papers that Dr. Moline and others write are all so important, but we have to connect them with the individual stories, which we do in the book and through various campaigns. When we first went to Washington, we didn't have a clue. I talked to staffers and they were confused. How do you talk about a nearly invisible fiber that you can't see, touch, taste, or smell? We had a scientist make this slide. 20,000 asbestos fibers under Lincoln's nose, compared to grains of rice in human hair, and many have used it. We have been countering doubt and misinformation from the industry for over 100 years. When your life depends on it, use asbestos? Come on, we all saw at 9/11, the World Trade Center, and the damage. That's just one example. Let's take a look at what we do with policy. Senator Boxer's holding the Lautenberg bill, and that was enormously important to the work that we did, obviously, to move asbestos forward with a rule, but we're not done. If we look back at 100 years, we've known that asbestos is a human carcinogen. We testify next to some of those from industry that will try to create doubt or misinformation and tell you that maybe chrysotile isn't a problem. And I'm here to tell you that's absolutely wrong. And you're going to hear from the experts today. Emily and I endured the wildfires like many others in Los Angeles, and that toxic ash came inside our house 30 miles away. That's not a whine for what happened to the Reinsteins. It is to show you that you cannot manage the risk of asbestos fibers. That's why we need a ban. We've gone to Washington, and Dr. Flores and others have joined, and Bob Sussman and others have done staff briefings. How do you educate the next Congress? How do we tell those staffers what's really happening? We bring the science, the stories, and the group to do just that. And as Raja mentioned today, Olin has been on board since 2023 with their support for a ban. And Greg Russell, my dear colleague here, we did a campaign last year, and some of you in New York might have seen it. I know Stephen came down to look at it. We put up a billboard in Times Square, so everyone knew that asbestos needed to be banned. We got the New York Times to do a story, and they may be here later on today. But when you unite with those who are strong and believe in the same cause, we have undeniable momentum for change. Why does it take so long? I can tell you I'm pretty frustrated. It's glacially slow, but you don't stop. You don't wait for a different president. You don't wait for a different time. You pick up your stuff, you look at a strategy, and you move the bill forward. If not now, when? And for Jews, we know that. So we will be, this month of September, introducing the 2025 Alan Reinstein Ban Asbestos Now Act. We're very excited and proud. So follow us along. Join us. We need your letters. We need your support. We need your stories and donations, but allow us to continue the fight that many did hundreds of years ago to end this man-made disaster. Thank you.